are being so quiet?
It says we're up, but I'm waiting for the alert.
Hi, Facebook.
Refresh.
If we're up. Andrew's checking.
Yep, it's on.
Yay! Facebook will start in a second, but
Okay.
we're getting excited.
Share.
Jake's being very strict and secretive tonight about when we're allowed to start talking.
I think
How do I share this?
we're good. So like right under the video, there's share.
And then click right post.
No, then click
Copy link.
share to friends, like immediately.
Oh, I didn't get that from the business. I have to do it from the personal.
Oh, from the business.
Ooh.
Ah.
Oh,
So you
the
go
business can share a business.
share,
It's
Yeah.
B2B, Facebook
and then
B2B.
right post. You want me to write it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, I would prefer that you do that for me.
Guest post. It's like guest post.
Oh,
Oh! Are we recording already, by the way?
yes we are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, that we're recording on it, but on that.
Yep, now we are.
Look, Chef Alyssa's already unwinding.
Unwrapping.
Unwrapping, what do they
Can
call
you
it?
eat while you podcast?
I mean, we're about to find out, I suppose.
Unjarring.
I do want to hear the treats that you brought while you prep them. While Jake's getting this ready, we can just let this be the beginning of the podcast. What treats did you bring today, Chef Alyssa?
Oh, well, we brought our spreads. We have a spreads line. So they're
Save this
condiments.
for the recording.
We are
Boo.
recording now.
Well, not the
Yeah, no, go
we
ahead.
sort
You
of
can
are.
intro it in a second. You do your thing while she tells about the spreads. I really just want to
Yeah,
get to the
that's fine.
spreads.
Okay.
Yeah, can you
Post it.
snack while you podcast?
I think sure, why not, right? No, the listeners won't mind a little crunch.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, here
either
we
before, after, or during or after.
Or during, yes. Jake will kick us off and then we'll go.
We definitely don't mind a little crunch. All right,
we
so
wait, are you good, Andrew?
Yes, it is on.
Yes.
could you send up number 3 just a little bit? No, check. A little bit more. All right, cool. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Date Night with Jacob Page. We've got Andrew and Alyssa Wilen in the building. What's going on, guys?
Okay.
Woo!
All right.
So can we just say Chef Alyssa? I mean, can we? That way everybody knows. But I want to be sure we get the full names in. But this is Chef Alyssa.
First
and
name chef.
Our
First name
chef
chef.
is Jessica's first name chef.
And
I
then
said it to
co-owner,
Jared today
right.
because her first name's not Chef. I go, well, it kind of is, actually.
Yeah, and then co-owner, right? You guys are co-owners
Yes.
of the
Uh-huh.
kitchen,
Yeah, Chef
cookery,
Alyssa's Kitchen.
kitchen. There you
All
go.
of the above.
You idiot! It's kitchen.
I
Yeah,
know.
we say welcome to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Welcome to the kitchen. Welcome to the podcast, dude.
Yeah. Welcome to Facebook officially now that we've started.
Yes.
Excited to have you guys on. Before we get into anything, any of the questions about you guys, what am I looking at? And I definitely drew the best seat in the house.
I know.
This is amazing.
Next to the food.
Well, we brought
Splendid.
you some snacks, and we have a condiment line. So we have 2 spreads that are part of that. We're building it, but it is, we have a champagne tomato jam,
Ooh.
and we have a smoked chili rosemary mustard. They're both, we call them condiments because they're versatile, but you can use them as a meat marinade, you can use them as a dressing for some vegetables.
It's like gourmet ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh
I
my
like
God.
that analogy.
Wow.
So we brought them. We brought some crackers, some homemade ricotta cheese, and some
Homemade
fresh
ricotta
figs because
cheese.
it's fig season and they taste like candy. So
Oh, wow.
just, you know.
Do you have like a fig tree? Can you show, can one grow figs in Charlotte?
Yes.
Really?
This is fig season right now. So it's beginning of August, and they're probably going to go for another month or into October.
I'm learning food
Yeah,
facts
it's
from you
early
already,
October, but-
and you've only been here like 30 seconds.
And so do you just pop the whole thing? And
Yeah, there's a stem, but
Right, okay.
just pop the whole thing or take a couple bites
There's
depending
no,
on
like-
the size.
Oh, wow.
Is that awful that I have
Do
never
it, Jake.
had?
No, I haven't either.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh,
I wanna
Do it,
do
Jake.
Got it.
Got
Let's
it.
go.
Okay. Okay.
Tell us some ways you can eat figs while we try
Oh,
one.
well, it's really common to make a jam out of the figs.
Right.
Okay.
And so you'll see that.
She's looking at me like,
Literally
have you
just-
ever eaten anything, buddy?
Oh.
Should I like?
Here, let me have that.
Condiment?
There's lots of seeds. You can find them dried as well.
Oh.
But sweet, I think a great thing for figs is to mix them because they're so sweet. Mix them with something savory, so something salty. Even the ricotta cheese. A lot of pairings
Oh,
will
wow.
be prosciutto.
Yum.
And just part of a cheese plate, but you can throw them in a salad. You could just have them for dessert because they're so sweet on their own.
We
Yeah.
are 3 minutes in,
Grill
and I
them.
think this is the favorite podcast.
I know.
Gosh.
So we should give a little bit of background to the way that obviously everybody in Charlotte knows you guys from 40 Under 40 stuff and Chef Alyssa's Kitchen classes that they've taken and things like that. But we go back to I think like 3 years ago when we launched Good Day Charlotte.
OG over here, yeah.
Right? You guys were some of our first ever consistent
Yeah.
cooking guests, right?
We were on the second ever show.
You must have
Come
been.
on.
Ever show.
Oh,
Is
that's
that
awesome.
right?
It was like
I love
it was right around this time last 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
August 20 something.
Yes. And you truly would blow us away every time you came because your stuff was usually, I'll be honest, not usually, but sometimes when we have people who cook healthy stuff on, it just doesn't taste as good as some of the other stuff. Like, keeping it real, your stuff always was like amazingly seriously. And just, anyway, we just sort of, we love you. And it was fun to have both of you back then. So we knew you then and we've known you since and haven't seen you in a while, but we knew that we wanted to get you guys on the podcast.
Just a slight dig there. That's really what this is about. Get you back on
Well,
fire.
we're gonna get
Yeah.
back.
Also, we got to
Yeah.
get you back on the show, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we had a great time, and we were there consecutive Tuesdays for over a year, and
Yeah, probably a year and a half, almost every single Tuesday.
I mean, I like to think we
It
kind of
was
launched
great.
all of the Chef Alyssa and
Mhm.
stuff around
Oh,
the
yeah.
show,
but
right?
yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
as seen on TV.
Seriously,
Sure.
you have blown up and you continue to blow up. I mean, and you guys got married in the time there. Like, where do
Yeah.
we even begin?
Yeah.
Let's start with just you guys in general too. Can you talk about where you first met and how you started to decide to not only date but be in business together?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alyssa grew up in Charlotte. I grew up outside of Baltimore. I went to school at Elon University. After that, moved to Charlotte right after I graduated.
How does a Baltimore guy go to Elon?
Yeah.
It had what I wanted in a school.
And do you say be more?
Sometimes.
Are you like,
And
okay.
you don't say Baltimore.
Hey, have you ever seen The Wire?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Must just
okay.
say
Baltimore.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you ever seen The Wire?
It's number one follow-up question.
No, you never get that?
It's everyone's
First time.
Shut up.
I'm sorry, do you know Stringer? I mean, if you do, just knew him.
Uh-oh.
Rest in peace.
Force them out.
All right, sorry. Big Wire fan over here.
So I moved Elon to Charlotte, and I've been in Charlotte for 3 years, and both of us are Jewish, and I went to a young Jewish professionals networking event, and Alyssa grew up here. It was the first time I went to this event.
For Rosh Hashanah.
And I remember I was wanting to sort of expand meeting people, sort of also with our Jewish roots,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw this happening. It was at Whiskey Warehouse. It was like a cocktail happy hour, and it was $5 to go in. So price wasn't an issue. I print out the flyer, put it on my desk. I'm in between jobs, so I literally have nothing to do, waiting for this. And of course, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go by myself. And the day that it's happening, I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go by myself. And so I go a little bit late and make myself
Make
go.
an entrance.
Yeah.
Would
And
you just cartwheel in? Or what's your go-to?
well, apparently I wasn't late enough because Alyssa was still late after
Later?
me. Yeah, you were like 30
Oh,
minutes
okay.
after I got there.
I don't remember that. I
Oh.
remember seeing this guy that I thought was unfamiliar, and it's a small community. It's a small group of people, and you notice when
Right, okay.
It's cartwheeling, so that's
That guy's from Baltimore.
he's not from around here.
right.
So get there, start making small talk, and I remember turning around and seeing Alyssa in a group conversation. And this was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember turning around, and you'll find this very cheesy. The moment I saw her, this rush goes in through my chest, and I was like, I have to talk with that girl. It's the only thought that went to my head. Talk to that girl. Go talk to that girl.
Yeah, I know the rush. I got you.
So I butt myself into this conversation, and I eventually get right next to her, so I can talk with her. And then we hit it off right away. And then she was there with her best friend, who, luckily for me, was engaged, because now I get to talk with the best friend, who's very taken.
And safe, right.
So it's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
safe.
and she's the
Got
type.
it.
She's gonna.
She's a good
She's
wingman.
gonna. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
job
she
interview.
was-
It was a lot of questions.
Because her husband was living in a different area, so they were long distance for a while. So she was playing wing woman for a long time.
Okay.
with me.
Wing woman.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an underused term, but I
Yeah.
respect that. Okay, got it.
And so we only chatted for a little bit, and I think you were interested, but weren't sure why I didn't talk to you more.
You're like, why do you
Oh
keep
my
talking
gosh,
to
please
my
unpack
friends?
this right now. This is the first time that they're like, go ahead. Act like we're not here.
Yeah. No. Oh.
Oh, no, we are.
Let's talk about the two sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then somehow, so she was opening up a restaurant as the executive chef, and
Here in Charlotte?
here in Charlotte. And for some reason, I convinced her that I needed her number so I could go to the restaurant. Even though,
knew
like,
this did not make sense.
why would you call the exexecutive chef to make a reservation? Like, you don't even do that.
I'm like, I'm about that.
But he's that guy. No. Put your boss on.
And so I got her number just so I could text her the next day. And of course, I'm like, the next day, I'm like, I'm in the note section of the iPhone. You're like, how does this sound? I'm going over every single
my
word.
gosh, shut up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's so
I
cute.
was the
But that's
unfamiliar
actually
guy.
smart.
Yeah.
Because just in case so you don't send it by accident.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
I can proofread it, and of course it came out to like, hey Alyssa, great to meet you. Would you like to get drinks next week?
Page
Like-
like
And-
5 accidental texts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was happy he got my number because I was sort of thinking this guy seems like he's making his way to that
Yeah.
point, and so got a good reading from my
I love
friend
you.
that
You're
he was
very-
chatting up.
You're very analytical about this. He's like, my chest was on fire. I'm doing drafts in my notes, and you're like, he was making the correct move. I thought I'd give him a chance.
I knew he wanted more than dinner reservation.
Yeah.
So what
I'm
was the
tracking.
restaurant? Did you open it?
Yeah, it was Fern. So it was
Oh,
the vegetarian
yeah.
restaurant that was
That's
on
on our
Plaza
list.
Midwood, in Plaza Midwood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's that was the opening of that restaurant, and before that, during that time, I was working at Halcyon, kind of in between, waiting for that to open as things were coming along.
Yeah.
But just single, living in Plaza Midwood, doing like
Having the time
You know,
of your
going
life.
out.
in your life,
Yeah.
I know. So you guys start dating, and how long did you date? You dated for a while before you got engaged, right? Because I remember giving you a hard time about that on the show.
You weren't the
You're not
only
the
one.
only one.
Yeah, sure. Mother is involved.
Page failing, everybody.
It did get to a point
I'm a
where-
good wing woman too. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were dating for, gosh, we were
got engaged
about
in
4
2015.
years when we got engaged, and then by the time we got married, we were close to 5 years.
Well, 'cause we had the business for about a year and a half, 2 years at that point. So at the time we got engaged, 2 questions came up. They said, "Oh, I thought you were already married," or "What took you so long?"
Right. Well, because
It
you
depended
guys,
how well they knew us.
and it is kind of unique. I mean, because you did the business thing together before you were married.
Yeah.
We made the idea to start a business maybe a year after we were dating.
So, like, made it easier, harder, great training ground for a marriage now that you're in it. Like,
Yeah.
what, yes to all? Just curious what
It
was
works
like?
for us.
Yeah,
And we kind of
Oh my gosh,
knew
I
it
love
was
that.
a
Yeah.
risk, but we also knew we were suited to do it
Mhm.
together.
like we knew we were just like everything was
that?
happening.
Simpatico.
Simpatico.
Just-
Yeah, we were connected.
Careful what you do.
That's a weird emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was an idea that grew while we were both going through our various employee frustrations, like, this just isn't where I want to be, this isn't working out.
You were at restaurants and you were what? Doing
I
what?
was in marketing and events. So I worked for the Panthers, Bank of America, and a small ad agency, just doing various things. And then at the time, I started working for Living Social. That was like the in-between jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was running, they had an events arm. I mean, Living Social got bought out. They're totally different
Living
right now.
Socials like Groupon?
Like
was it?
Groupon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we
it
started
was an
doing
arm
that.
called Living Social Adventures. So it was all these really
Oh,
cool
sweet,
events.
yeah.
Like we did ice sculpting and like all these wine tours.
Oh.
And me and my manager, we organized everything. And everything was on this big discount because it was Living Social. And every time we did a food event, that's what was like, everyone loved food events. And so she was at the restaurant. I was like, hey, we should do cooking classes.
Yeah, I wanted to like boot me into it, and I just at that time didn't really think that
Not your thing.
could work. Yeah,
Hmm.
it sounded like a bonus thing that just didn't really appeal to me, and
But that was the industry I was in.
Mhm.
But when we were starting the business, we sort of came up with this idea after we were kind of thinking about, and really we just wanted to work together. Our hours were terrible, like they were, and they were opposite.
Yep.
You guys have probably experienced that
Yep.
before too.
I mean, that's what this podcast is.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a terrible schedule and I've got a normal schedule, but we do these podcasts just to hang out, really.
mhm.
But also to meet cool couples, too. But you're on our date, so this is
Yeah. It's true that when you work together, it's like
Yeah.
people. I mean, it's quality time together too. I mean, it's not all
Yeah.
quality time. Of course, there comes some of this too, to borrow
Yeah.
a gesture.
Different hand gesture.
But yeah, it is, and you guys obviously make it work, and have, I'm sure it obviously kind of gone through different stages through the years and things like that. Were you quick though too before we get to the business side of things? Will you tell your engagement story because you guys have a really sweet how you got engaged?
Oh my
That was
gosh,
Jake's
I don't know
story.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Andrew was taking me on a series of like outings, kind of date days that he would plan.
Living
usually
social guy.
Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
She was
taking
very
me
excited. She
on
was like,
living
wow,
social
these
fun
adventures.
dates. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was picnics. We're big walkers. We love walking around together, so we'll go to parks, and that's really cool for us. So we would go to parks. We'd go to a movie. We'd go see music, and so there was these things, and I was like, wow, we're really getting something just about every week or so we have something planned.
Don't make it crunching.
So
and
I
by the way.
wouldn't. So doing it so I wouldn't catch on to like the real date day.
So I remember, and then I wanted to make sure her weekends were free, like there was no girls trips or anything that was planned, and so I come up with all these dates, knowing what like the date is in mind, so I can't have that be the last date that I put on this like calendar that I'm sending to her. So I have all these other fake dates planned after the fact that never really were going to happen.
When you work together, it just always ends up that you're controlling each other's calendars.
Yeah. But we're big out. We send
like,
each other Outlook stuff for like to take the kids to study or like to like anything. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like that for any couple. So
It should be
these days. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had an idea of what I wanted to do. Actually, I had this idea for a really long time. So our first date was at the Village Tavern in South Park, and
we sat out there, had like music and wine.
Cool.
and that was the only time that we had ever been to Village Tavern. And since then, we've only been back one more time, and we'll explain.
Anniversary, okay.
And so I just had this idea, like from that, I was like, I want to use Symphony Park, and I want there to be band, and I wanted this all to go together. And so I just had that idea in my head for years, just kind of waiting for whatever the right time was. I was going to implement it, and so there was a band that we were on, Charlotte Today, sorry.
No, that's all right.
And
Broadcast over.
Never again.
Nope.
Never again, Andrew. One time.
and it was 4 guys, and the other thing I wanted to incorporate was our song, which was from the first concert that we went to together, which was a band called Augustana. And
Steal Your Heart.
Yeah.
Our song.
Steal Your Heart. And so I wanted to, and Augustana had a bunch of guys singing, so I was like, okay, these guys can cover it. And so I just got in touch with someone from the band, and they were like, we're in. We'll totally do it.
What?
And so then I was on their schedule. I was like, all right, what date works for you out of these 3? Because you're the central component to this whole thing.
Yeah, the band too.
Of Good Nature.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
in Charlotte.
Wait, that's
Cameron Brown.
Rachel Brown's
Yeah.
brother.
Rachel Brown's brother's Cameron.
Yeah.
They play Sycamore a lot.
Yep.
They do a lot of traveling. They're a big band, very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of cool too. And they were totally in. And so we had this whole date plan. Basically, we're going to have a early dinner eating in the park, and then we're going to go see a movie. What I did even further was I pick out a random movie, go to the movie, and I'm like, the movie theater at Phillips Place. I'm like, just give me a ticket stub, just any ticket stub. I don't care.
Just in case I ask,
just in case I can feel oh, the tickets are right here.
Yeah.
There was the movie.
We're really trying to throw her off.
Oh,
well, what was the movie? That could go south. Was it?
It was the
It was
Entourage
soft. It was
movie.
soft.
The Entourage
And
movie.
I
for
just got
some
on a
reason,
soft
I was
floor.
really excited to see it.
I was like, oh, we're going to see the new Entourage movie. You're like, I don't know you like Entourage that much, so you had to see it opening weekend.
Right.
Yeah, but it was really cool because through some odd work connection, his dad has a client or a coworker that works in the building the Village Tavern's located in.
The Rotunda.
So he was able to get all of our friends and our close friends and family who came into town up in the Rotunda so they could.
Cool.
And we have video footage of my dad with the camcorder, which of course is completely shaky and off. And he's recording the proposal while they're watching it. But it was at Symphony Park, and we come out, and we just sit there, relax, and then this band comes over, and it wasn't out of the box to hear a band come over to you because you were just thinking, we're in a lot of parks.
Okay.
Well, we were witnessing a lot of
another
bands.
band. Leave us alone. Gosh, why do these bands keep playing for us? Doesn't happen for me and Paige.
No.
Well, they asked to record a song. They were going to give her a video, tried it out, and they played our song. But of course, it took me
a second.
It took me a while to figure out. I'm like, I can't wait to tell Andrew that they're playing our
Yes,
song.
what song
I can't wait to tell them that they're playing our
coincidence.
song.
Right.
Yeah, and then
did you get down on a knee?
Mm-hmm. I had to make sure that we were standing up just to set it up so I can go down.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, let's stand up. So
Yeah,
I did,
let's make it a show.
Yeah.
Did you suspect it all?
Stand up for
Oh
this
my
band.
gosh, I didn't. No,
Yeah.
I didn't. He was really good, and I think he read me and what I would catch on to, what I might ask questions about. So he was just prepared.
Well, clearly he was preparing left and right for like to throw you off the scent.
And then, of course, we got good pictures because it wouldn't be a modern day proposal without a surprise photographer.
Capturing,
Sure.
exactly.
I didn't even catch on when I was like, "Well, we're going to the park and getting a movie. You're dressing like that? Okay, I guess I need to put on something nicer."
Than I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And isn't it the best thing ever to have your friends and family there afterwards to be able to celebrate with you? Jake did something similar where he surprised and the engagement. We knew we were kind of getting engaged, and then he surprised me with like all our family and friends were at this bar where we had our first date kind of thing too. And it's like because you want to see them right away, right? So you're like, can you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, Paige essentially said, look, I love you and I want to spend this time with you, but it's way more fun when there's a lot of other people there. Right.
Which is kind of par for the course.
Exactly. And the best part of that, we were walking, like I planned this whole thing, everybody get there 30 minutes in advance, blah, blah, blah. Her boss at the time, who's just like, probably checked no emails, no texts.
No.
We came from Hoboken into New York City, so it was like an hour process. Like, people had plenty of time. Cab, get out, we're walking up, and her boss, who she adores, is walking across the street, and Paige goes, "Oh my God, it's Olivia." And Olivia, her boss, just looks at her and realizes that she screwed up royally and just put her head down and just kept walking in. And Paige goes, "Well, that was weird.
But I would
Am I going to get fired?
It's like a double.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, is she meeting us for a drink? Like, I didn't. Why would I like? She must be here because you're having a surprise.
Well, you just got proposed to.
I know, but I still.
I think guys are thinking that.
I know.
Thinking the storyline in your head's gonna automatically.
Yeah.
You're gonna put all the pieces together.
Maybe we gave too much credit.
Yeah.
Any boys listening,
awesome.
if you're planning an engagement, don't worry. She's probably not on.
Right.
This is amazing, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Side note: we tried to like sneak these in while you were telling that. I had the mustard spread, smoked chili and rosemary mustard. I want to try the other one too, so I can crunch, and then we can probably.
The next time we entertain, I want to get these.
I know.
Yeah.
Can I have another cracker, please?
Oh, sure. I know. I gave you one cracker.
I know. I was like, I
Can I
want
just tell
17
you,
of these.
if we weren't like trying to like not get sounds on the mics,
I
the
know.
failings, we could put some hors d'oeuvres down.
Yeah.
Well, I want just one more.
That's
though.
why you guys can
Just one more.
It's a perfect segue to talk. Yeah, it's a perfect segue
It's
to
going to be a
talk
20-minute
about.
podcast. Let's shut it down and let's just smash the food.
Just
All right, segue.
It's a good segue to talk about what you guys do together, which is the Chef Alyssa's kitchen, and obviously your background. Yes.
Before you do that, can I just ask one question?
Go ahead.
So we just said Rachel Brown. No one knows who Rachel Brown is. They know Queen City Chic.
Yeah.
So can we get to the name? Like, so Chef, like, I know that's like what you go by. The brand is amazing. I know it's not technically what you go by, but like that's how I
It's kind of her name.
really before. Yeah, but like it's a great brand, and then for her too, I'm sure people are like, "Oh, you met Queen City Chic." She's like, "It's Rachel, but cool." So like, just help me out, help the listeners out. Like, is there a level of annoyance, or are you just all in? You embrace it, or just come on.
Well, I do embrace it. It took a little while because you yourself have the separation of you and the brand.
Yeah.
But it's sort of funny at times. I've always felt this way with my career in general because I meet a lot of people, and I'm sure, everybody meets people that might do a job that you really can't relate to, so you don't have as much to talk about with them, but everybody can relate to food. So
good point.
Even before I was Chef Alyssa, and that was the brand, I would hold back telling people I was a chef because I didn't want the conversation to go in the direction of food because it so easily can, and then I feel like I'm dominating, and I don't want that. I want to talk about everything else. So I've always sort of been used to trying to defer.
Reflecting, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
you had a friend come in town. Her husband is a jet fighter for the Air Force.
Wow.
I'm just like an inquisitive person
Fighter
anyway.
pilot is the.
What did I say? A jet fighter. Sorry, that would be like saying
either way,
you
it's badass.
do things with forks and spoons. No, so I'm like, and so every like 30 seconds, I would like stumble over myself to say, "Hey, if you don't want to talk about this, I get it, like but like, holy crap, you fly jets,
right?
Like,
right.
I want to know all about it because like I'm in marketing, like the end. You know what I mean? So anyway, so
No, it's true. I'm sure
really
it's not necessary for
curious.
any celebrity or professional athlete or whatever. All anybody wants to talk about is that thing about them, and they'll probably I totally get that. That's interesting. Though,
I think it's what's relatable.
Yeah.
So have you embraced it now? I mean, because it just flows. It's like a real Chef Alyssa. I mean, it's like really.
I have sort of embraced it, and sometimes I say to myself, it's just easier to say Chef Alyssa.
Totally.
And I want to introduce myself. I'm Alyssa Wilen.
Yep.
But you know, if it is work related, I'll try to go that direction because it does make things easier.
Yeah.
And I don't think people think of it as it's sticking out as I do. Like, this is kind of not normal. I don't want to refer to myself as the brand, but you know, I
It
don't
works.
think
And to your
sticks
point,
to
it's such. I mean, everybody cooks, and it just feels. It's like, yeah, I think.
So
it
where are
works.
you on it, Andrew? Because I mean, for a long time I was called Jay Crawford before.
Do you guys know I've switched to my married name is
Yes.
Wilen, so I switched to that.
Yeah.
one.
Which
We have noticed that.
like
Oh,
you
yeah.
literally did that like on a Wednesday, like a random Wednesday.
I know.
Like, I just did it, babe. I just figured, I'm tired,
Well-
and I go, thank you. I mean, this is an awful last name.
It's
But I
not as easy as
appreciate-
Crawford. It's not. But I don't know if you ran into this at all. But like, well, especially when you were dating, people probably wondered like, did you keep your maiden name if they thought you were married?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I just find it easier to just have the same last name, especially with he and I do a lot of stuff outside of my work as a couple, and it's like, what do we always have to say, like Jake failing and Paige Crawford failing, and Chef Alyssa Gorelick Wilen. It's just like, I don't know. It's, to me, it seemed easier. Did you take his name right away? Was that like a thing for you guys at all? Discussion?
Yeah, I didn't even do the whole move. My last name to my middle.
Yeah.
Any of that. It was just like,
Just gotcha.
Wilen.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, my mom changed it
My
in her
man.
phone right after the
Oh
wedding
my God,
before
that's
I even
funny.
had a chance to
That's
change
so
it.
cute.
So
That's
I was
cute.
like, okay, it's not going to shock anybody.
Yeah.
It's just going to be one.
Well,
All right, I hijacked your question earlier.
no,
Sorry.
you're good.
Well, to
Just-
answer your question, like
Oh, yeah.
when we first got started, even a little bit now, like I've always been the supportive husband. You probably get that a lot too, Jake.
Yeah, they're like, what's it like being like a stay-at-home dad, like caddy for your local celebrity wife? And I'm like, oh,
I didn't know I.
it's amazing. I'm gonna go cry in the corner. But no, I mean, like early on, but I love it. I mean, we've got a good balance. Yeah.
Well, I'm actually. Let's just go there now because we
Yeah.
could have gotten to that. I was just going to get some on your cooking background, which we can get to. But just on the way over here, I was listening to another podcast that Jake and I listen to a lot. School of Greatness. Have you guys heard of that? Lewis Howes.
No.
Really good. It's actually kind of what got me into podcasting. He lived in his sister's couch in Charlotte for a couple months. He's come on the show a couple times, but he has probably one of the first and most popular podcasts. He's been doing it for a couple of years.
Like lifestyle entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Wes Knight here locally. He's kind of like our local Lewis Howes, I say.
And he has like
Yeah.
Tony Robbins on, and huge names, and just kind of interviews them like this, gets to know them and how they got to where they are. And his most recent one is with Chris and Heidi Powell from the couple that hosted Extreme Weight Loss Makeover, whatever the show is.
Oh, cool.
You know that he's like a trainer
Yeah.
and she's a trainer too. And I'm only halfway through the podcast because I listened to half of it, but it has been fascinating to hear their story and just obviously being drawn to stories like that about couples and how couples work together. You guys should listen to it
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
great so far. Anyway,
That sounds
Feel like
awesome.
and the part that I just heard on the way in was them addressing the whole fact of the process for them, which was that he was a trainer. They met when he was like literally living out of his car. They were just friends. She was a single mother, divorced, had 2 kids, and he was like, pass. And she was like, well, good, I don't want a relationship anyway. So they were just friends for a couple months before they started dating, but both having nothing, And when the concept for Extreme Weight Loss show came about, he took off big time and started getting recognized and was like this huge celebrity. And she was stuck home in Arizona with 2 kids and like doing everything on the show that he was doing, but he was getting all the credit for it, all the recognition, and it was just interesting to hear them talk about that dynamic. And she now, by the way, does host the show with him and has kind of like gone up, in terms of celebrity and things like that with him. But it was really interesting to hear both of their perspectives on what that did to their own personal selves and just their ego and their dynamic between them as a relationship. And to your point, I would imagine in any couple, if one person is more known or more in the spotlight than another, that can play out differently. So will you talk about that dynamic a little bit?
Well, yeah,
I mean, for us, like I don't care.
He's
Everything was always
always
I want to be a background guy.
Yeah, I never drove putting myself out there. I mean, as a cook, I've always wanted to just keep my head down, be in the back of the kitchen, do my work. I never had the intention of like building a brand around myself or
So what's that like
even
for you?
being in front of people.
It's taken a while, or still taking a while?
It still takes a while. I'm
Yeah.
a shy person.
Yeah.
And
She's naturally introverted.
yeah, but it took Andrew's like kind of pushing me out there, knowing that I had more potential, and I mean it was tough for a while because it was almost like he was training me, like giving me, like he's an incredible public speaker. He's an incredible, engaging person to just have a conversation with, and then to command a room. So I really started to learn that from him, and I'm continuing to learn that from him. So, I'm not going to say, Andrew shouldn't get like the you know, he's always gotten like kind of, oh, your husband's so supportive. But no, it's always been the two of us. It's always been him pushing me out there as the brand, but we're building everything we do together.
Together, yeah.
So, you know,
Well,
there are times,
for
but
me, I'll cut
there's-
you off for a sec. Is every time like, oh, Chef Alyssa gets this award, gets this, like every win you feel, you get, like I feel it. Like everything that happens great to Chef Alyssa or Chef Alyssa's Kitchen, like it like just as impactful to me, like it happened to me.
But at the same time, I think it's moving away from that because I mean, he's gotten recognized.
I was gonna say because it is
so
you too. I mean, you're
Yeah.
a part of the team. If it was a purely business relationship, it would be an obvious like, oh, obviously you're in that too. When you're a married couple, and suddenly people go like, wait, are you jealous? Does it feel weird to not be getting that right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, but he's being recognized, and we're moving our brand toward. It's like a whole family, you know. We're trying to put all the emphasis on our staff, on Andrew, and putting all of that out there. So I think we're moving a little bit past just this is Alyssa and she does cooking classes. It's like no, we're together building a business.
Yeah, so we're slowly sort of building up my presence, building up our staff's presence as well as people that you interact with every day in our business.
Right. Because if you haven't been to a class yet, have you? We got to do that sometime. I've been to a class with the NBC team, or with the NBC with the class.
Back to Raleigh.
Sorry,
You have an announcement?
Surprise guest.
that was Raleigh.
Exactly. No, I haven't. I've been to one cooking class with you, and they centered the entire class on avocados. Which wasn't it? No,
I don't
artichokes.
remember. We drove all the way
Artichokes,
through
not
that class.
avocados. Artichokes.
Oh, interesting.
The whole class was on
that's
artichokes,
right.
and we ended up meeting a couple who we then moved from New Jersey to Raleigh, and
Yeah, this was in
there.
Jersey.
That's a whole other story. But I was kind of like, this is cool because I've never tackled the artichoke. But I remember leaving being like, oh, I wish we like.
I
cooked.
probably never will.
Yeah, I never again have.
I know.
But let me tell you, it was delicious. Good grief! But I know we need to go.
Do you
together.
find that people come to your classes? Does it run the gamut of people like who know what they're doing in the kitchen, but just think it would be fun, and people who are like, I have no clue, and I can still kind of hang? Because I mean, you are good. Like what was making me think about the classes, that you're very vocal in the classes too. Like you help kind of run through things and run the logistics, and it helps you. We have no clue what we're doing in the kitchen, but like I feel like I could cook at Chef Alyssa's class because
We want everybody who doesn't always cook to feel in an unintimidated environment or having fun doing it, because those are the main people coming to our classes.
Right.
The people that sometimes cook or maybe want to cook more. And so most of our classes are built around that. So you're in a group of 4 and you can always pick up a little bit where somebody else can't. And you work together and you build the whole menu as a group. So we run through all the skills a little bit at a time and just learn the techniques, and that there are lots of ways to do things, and just get better at the basics. So that's where most of our business lies, and having a fun night out and making it just cool. But because we have a bigger audience now, is where it's really fun, where we can we can really look at those ability levels. So we have,
And you just look and you're like, is
yeah.
that a tall couple over there? It's sad. Like it's as if they eat
Shop
and make
anything.
cereal 80% of the time.
They
That's
signed up
the
for Chef
thing.
Andrew's cooking class.
Yeah.
Chef Andrew.
Yeah.
So, all right, so how many
How to toast
years
a
have you
bagel.
been? I need it. I need advice. How many years have you been married running the business?
A year.
Just over one, yeah.
Yeah, just a little.
Did you just hit your 1 year anniversary?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I guess that's what that means. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how has it been different being married and running a business?
Were you living together before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we lived together for, I don't know, a year.
Couple years.
Yeah, a couple years, I guess. It feels more solid, I would say. I think I can't even remember when I said, oh, this is my business with my boyfriend. It just, for some reason, it doesn't feel as solid. Because everybody thought we were or expected that. But it hasn't really changed anything. I think we talk about the future a lot more. Because it's just, we know this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're doing this together for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yes.
So what's next?
Nothing else to add.
Yeah.
You nailed it. So what's next?
Yeah,
I
are
mean,
you guys
you're
doing, like,
breaking out
reality
spreads
offers and things?
yeah. Oh well, that's a whole
I mean, I would imagine you are.
That's
right?
a whole other thing.
Have you been approached? First of all, yeah, you've got spread. You're doing like spread lines, of spreads and things like that now. Have you been approached? You have to have been approached at some point about like a reality show, right?
Gosh.
Doing cooking shows and things like that, stuff like that in the
Hope
mix
if
at all?
anybody's listening,
You haven't been approached about that?
Guys' grocery games and Cutthroat Kitchen, they used to call pretty frequently.
Yeah.
But I say for us, but for Liz, it wasn't the right show. She's been on Beat Bobby Flay on Food Network, and we're mostly interested in the shows where it's not as funky. It's shows that are like cook the best dish in this time limit. Maybe there's a mystery ingredient, but just make the best. Do the best job you can.
Okay, not as gimmicky. In other words,
Yeah,
it's actually
no
more,
running in the grocery store with
sure.
your hand behind your back.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so I guess for both of you then, I mean, who do you admire? Who do you look up to? Do you have any, like, I don't know, just heroes is dramatic, but people you look up to in the culinary field? And then for you, are you that narrow in kind of who you admire? Maybe you've got books you read or an author or podcast, that type of thing, but like, who do you kind of get your business sense from?
We've been a real big fan of How I Built This, the podcast on NPR.
Love it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Huge fan.
Yeah, pretty much every time we're in the car, especially on a road trip, like we'll put it on. But mostly just self-made entrepreneurs that really grinded it out. No one was given anything. So someone like Mark Cuban, the guy knocking on people's doors. So people like that really grind it out. Like being a grinder is like a philosophy of mine,
Right.
and I will put in the work and I'll work hard. So anyone that's done that and they built a business that way, I totally admire, and I just want to learn. I'm a big read, so we're reading The Observer and the Business Journal every day or every week.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about you?
gosh, I feel terrible that I'm like blanking on names. And
No,
things
but
that,
you talk about the
I-
hand behind the back chef. I mean,
Yeah.
like, do you ever get locked in on
Like,
the
do you
Food
always love,
Network,
like,
or is that
Rachel
like
Ray,
asking?
or,
I was
like,
gonna say, or is that like
no.
asking like an athlete? Or do you ever catch a basketball game when you're not playing? I mean, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm a big study of really authentic chefs, like, following, I'm trying to research all different types of cuisines, so I'll find chefs that have really written great books, written and followed certain types of cuisine so well that they're starting to interpret it a little bit better for from the American standpoint, I guess. An example of that is like Andy Ricker, who has Pok Pok. It's a Thai restaurant all over. He has like
Love Thai.
New York, Portland, and so just those kinds of chefs are kind of great. I love to study because they dive so deep into a certain cuisine and they're making it better to interpret, so better to approach as from like a research standpoint on different classes and things like that. But my mind has shifted in a lot of ways too, to just the business side of things.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
it's
say
not just
you
food,
can't. Yeah.
it's the business.
Yeah.
When you're both invested, or I don't know if it's normally a chef has a GM or an owner, and like you're able to just focus on your own things. But since you're both the owners, you're the chef. I mean, you are the bread and butter, like behind the business too. I mean, that's unique.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah.
I feel like I've grown so much beyond food in
Right.
general. So it's been fun, and the people that we get to connect with is so cool. That's so outside of what I would normally do in
You
a
go on food
restaurant.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Do you ever get tired of? Do you feel like there's a major expectation everywhere you go that will, like you did bring stuff tonight?
That's a
Which
great
this
question.
is actually a great.
Yes.
This is a great thing to bring because now it's done and you can be like here. But if you get invited to like a dinner party or a potluck or a whatever, are you like, for the love, can I just bring like a store bought something?
No, or like if somebody's grilling, and like if
Right.
you're like a guy who thinks he's good on the grill, but you're like standing back there, do you ever see people go, "Hey, if you just want to do this, go ahead." I mean,
You're dynamic.
It's kind of awkward.
You are
because,
I know,
because,
that's
because
what
we go to
guys
a friend's
do
house
me.
and our friends
I
are
don't wanna-
barbecuing.
oh, I
and
have
she doesn't want to
zero.
jump in there.
Yeah,
Right.
I would
But
be
do they
like,
say to you
please.
somehow, they're like, do you want to get in here?
Yeah.
Is this okay?
Sometimes they do.
Every now and then,
most of
it's
the
nice to have
time,
that
I
chef.
wanna
Like,
just.
chef
and you're like,
Yeah,
sometimes I just
absolutely.
want to chill. Like,
Well, yeah.
Do
but
you?
Well, I want people to feel
She wants
comfortable in
to
their
chill.
own
Yeah.
home and cook, and
Yeah.
I don't judge food.
you don't hover, you
I
don't walk by and go,
really don't
"Oh,
judge
I would have
food.
taken
But
that
do you
off."
like? Would you be annoyed, or would you like it if you were over and they were like, "Will you jump in and cook?"
Oh, I
with me, or do you have any
wouldn't.
tips
I
for
wouldn't
that?
be annoyed at all.
You
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
I love what I do. I love getting to teach people how to cook.
Yeah.
So if it's a friend and it's in their house, like I feel even more honored to do it. So I don't mind at all. but yeah, we made these condiments so that we can make things easy for ourselves.
good.
So we can just bring them to people and be like,
Yeah.
here's our dish.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask about next steps for the future on that, but it just remind me while we're in this topic, what does a date night look like for you guys in Charlotte? Like,
Yeah,
do
do you
you
have
have a
go-tos?
couple restaurants that you go to? Are you like allowed to stay? Do you want to stay?
Oh, no, yeah, we have-
Yeah.
Do you have
We
a
have
Where
couple
do you guys
restaurants?
live, first of all?
Favorites.
What part of town are you in?
We,
We live in Cherry.
it's like
okay.
it's a midtown area.
Sure.
Yeah, that's Cherry is where Montel and Breeze live.
Yep.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
neighbors.
Oh, you
Oh,
are?
yeah.
We're down,
okay.
well, down the street.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
cool.
neighbors.
Somewhat,
Okay.
it's
Same
small.
neighborhood.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay. So sorry. Go ahead. So you're in Cherry, and do you have like what are some of your favorite spots to go?
Well, we could name restaurants in general
Any
for
of the
sure.
above,
yeah.
We love Earl's a lot because we like low key days,
We haven't
day
been to Earl's. It's
dates.
on our list.
No.
And we
Yeah.
always name
Things that
Earl's
are
'cause
easy,
it's
and
like
we can walk there.
Oh,
yeah, we
nice.
can walk
Yeah.
there. We can
Do they have
go.
patio? Am I picturing that right?
They
Would
do
someone
have a
told us they have
patio.
It's
on
small, but they have
Elizabeth.
a patio.
Okay.
If we're going out like for a nice dinner, I mean, we love good places like Dogwood and Stagioni and Heritage out in Waxhaw. It's
Yeah.
going to be a real
Love
special
Waxhaw.
occasion.
We do
Heritage.
Dream Chasers and then walk across the tracks to Heritage.
Oh, that's
Brewery,
beautiful.
yeah.
And then ice cream at the little what's it?
Yeah.
And then we always smash the
Right
ice cream.
So good.
Yeah.
Waxhaw Creamery.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But we don't. I mean, we generally when we have a date night, it's kind of low key.
Yeah.
It's like a walk and a
A business.
movie or a light bite.
Yeah, and then on Sundays,
Yeah.
we might cook a little bit, and we always have a lot of leftover ingredients from our classes, so that's kind of fun too. Because during the week, we're basically eating our leftovers that Alyssa's made during class, but then on the weekends, we have all these great ingredients that are fresh, delivered from farmers.
It's like MacGyver.
Yeah.
You
Like,
get
build a
creative.
bomb
Yeah.
out of a paper
We-
clip and string.
What's
Yeah.
something we love doing? We have, and we'll have to invite you guys to this for sure because we're going to pick it back up again. But we did
Yeah.
this for
You're gonna love this.
we did
You're
it for
gonna
a few months. We do brunches, so it's a great time of day, and we mix cocktails. My friend
Okay.
comes over. She makes. I put her in charge of cocktails, and we mix stuff together.
Well, it's 10
But then
a.m.
we
now, right?
do a
You want to go
huge-
early.
Yeah, we do a big brunch spread.
Oh,
So
fun.
I absolutely
Gosh.
love breakfast, and that's what we love
Usually,
to
we like,
entertain,
it's a
and we'll
quick
do that.
yes when they're like, "Oh, Alyssa's gonna make brunch for everyone."
Yeah, you're
okay.
like, and
Yeah.
and
So it's
oh, how fun.
that's like our thing. So we love just inviting people over and just having a little get together.
Yeah.
Who can't do brunch? I think most people.
yes.
Yeah.
You've slept in.
Exactly.
You've got nothing to
Sunday
do with
morning
that.
at
Yeah,
2
no, you're
hours.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. What do you guys? And this can be tricky sometimes. Either you're going to think of something really quickly, or it's going to take you a minute. What do you guys argue about? Do you have like go-to arguments, or do you have like? Can you think of the last
They run a
argument you
business
had?
together.
I know.
Well,
So
we
you
have,
should have plenty of.
we have
Uh-huh.
business arguments and we have personal. I guess
You can talk about the personal ones then.
I leave my belts on the floor
There you
and
go.
I'll put away the
Ooh.
dishes.
You just leave a trail of belts?
Yes, they're
What is
like,
with the
they're
belts?
like
When I get home,
landmines.
I want my pants off as quick as possible.
Oh,
So
okay, I
pants
like that
off,
attitude.
belts off.
Oh,
and-
so you're like a belt thrower? I'll whip,
So
I'll whip a
they're
belt
usually
every now and then.
buried in something, and they're like landmines for me.
Oh,
to
hey,
just-
that's-
What do you have, like 12 belts? I feel like I've got one go-to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same belt.
Oh, it is.
I'll pick it up the next day, put it back on.
Oh, it's not always. Usually there's like the dress belt, the golf belt, just sitting. We sound like we never clean up our house. We clean up our house.
We never
Just
clean up
got
our
it.
house, so
Guys,
you're
yeah,
fine.
so please don't apologize. Like,
Yeah.
I probably have 7 belts down the floor from like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys do like division of labor, that kind of thing? Do you ever argue over that stuff, or is it pretty straightforward as far as work stuff, home stuff?
Well, are you angling at something? Do I need to like take out the trash?
Yeah. Andrew grabbed me ahead of time and said, "Can you bring this up?" Because I've been asking her to do the dishes for a while.
Well, we usually we can kind of see eye to eye. It's only when we're exhausted and like normal people and we just get at each other.
Tired and hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tired and hungry.
Angry.
Usually,
Yeah.
maybe, but we'll argue because we think a little differently when it comes to planning. So Andrew's a planner. It's funny that you said
Oh,
I'm the
I'm the
analytical
same.
one.
Same. We're the same.
Andrew's the analytical one. He is the
Things
cut
we
twice.
find out.
Well, love, when love
Measure
is in
twice,
the,
cut
that
once.
goes out the window.
Wait,
The guy
what
said
is
his chest was on fire.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Wait, he's the what? Say that
We're
again?
like, he's like the measure twice, cut once
Oh, uh-huh.
kind of guy,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like it'll sort of fit. Like let's
Jump
just
and then your
figure it
parachute
out.
open, whatever that
Those
saying
are
is.
like
Uh-huh.
our mindsets.
Uh-huh.
So we plan for something, and we go over it and over it and over it, and I usually am like, it's gonna work. It's fine. It's gonna work.
And the belt is
just
going
like,
to
no,
fit.
we have to
Buy the
go.
belt.
He was like, I drew up this
Buy the belt.
diagram.
Which makes you a good balance, but also allows for.
No more belts.
Yeah. Do you need another braided
I'm
belt,
just gonna get
Andrew?
you suspenders, Andrew.
Ooh, good call.
I wore suspenders on the
Would
last
you
one.
agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, straight
Yeah.
in. Right.
So we get at each other's.
I'll overthink things.
Yeah.
I want to
I'm a
come
planner.
Fair.
I'm the same way. I'd like to think that what was that?
He is.
I like.
You're supposed to lock in. Ours is a little bit different dynamic in that I like to keep our options open.
Oh, shoot me
He
in
likes
the
to
face.
lock us in. Like I'm like,
I want to plan.
5 minutes beforehand if we're gonna go to a game or go to a this or that. Or he wants to like buy tickets 2 weeks ago.
I
And that
want
makes
to
me
plan.
feel like constrained because I'm like, what if we change our mind? What if the kids get sick or we just get stuck somewhere?
Paige would rather buy a $5,000 plane ticket 8 hours before the plane starts,
Yes, and have the freedom of being able to not go.
which you always
It's
go
peace
to.
of mind. You're
Yes, yes, exactly.
All
So
right,
let's
get a
go
room, you
there.
two. Gosh. I'm a planner, I guess. So, all right, so that's your.
Good trade.
So you fight over belts at home, and then at business, too analytical.
I guess so.
Like you wanted
Yeah.
37 cases of
I'm
jam
so
or
grateful
of
for
ketchup.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not trying to get you like.
Oh no, of course.
So what else?
Well,
Okay, so
she gets a little annoyed because I'm always, I am planning, so I'm managing all of the scheduling, the operations, and so Alyssa has plenty of things on her plate, recipes, menu development, managing a staff, and I'll ask her several times, has this happened, has that happened? Mostly because I'm running through my mental checklist, I'm making sure everything's good, and
yeah,
sometimes it's happened, sometimes it hasn't happened yet, but she's planning on doing it, and
Yeah.
either way,
You're
reminder.
my boss.
Yeah.
You're my partner.
Co-boss.
So
Yeah.
I've got it.
co-boss, right?
I'm just running through my checklist.
Yeah.
And
Which,
I
to your point,
take it the wrong way a lot of times because he's
Yeah.
just trying to
that's
do
fair.
his due diligence, and I'm like,
You're like,
I'm
I
getting
got it. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the condiments are awesome.
Yeah.
The cooking classes, I'm told, are awesome. What's next? I mean, you talk about you love to hustle. Like, you guys talk about how you want to make it more of a family thing.
Yeah.
So what can we see next? Like, what's on the horizon? What are your goals? Both as together or individually, too?
Well, we definitely want to expand what we're doing. We really like the cooking classes a lot. Our kids program, we're in our 7th week of summer camps right now. They started at age 7. They've been awesome. So we started, quick segue, we started that, this is our 3rd year with it. We did a week and a half the first year, 4 weeks last year, and 7 weeks this year. All sold out, all filled.
Wow.
Week-long camps?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
What are the
cool.
hours?
What are the
Half
hours?
day
Yeah.
or-
9 to 1.
Half day, 9 to 1.
Would you do like a 9 to 7 for a couple in Valentine?
Yes, we would. For
Okay,
Valentine's.
great, great.
Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
just gonna smash one of these. Go ahead.
Well, they can
Yeah.
just, your kids they can just hang out with us and do some work. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
We can
really
prep.
they're really good at work.
Yeah, we're training them for prep work. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so ultimately we want to have our own space. Right now we're inside of Atherton Market in South End,
Yeah.
Yep.
and we want to have our own space that has 2 classrooms. One that's dedicated to small private events as well as all the kids program that we're doing. That way we can do kids' birthday parties on Saturdays.
mommy and me, or
Mommy and
daddy
me.
and me, or kids and parents cooking together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a
because right
great
now we're
idea.
limited to our 1 class and just the amount of time in a day, what Alyssa and our staff can actually
Yeah.
produce. And so we can't work 7 days a week.
Right.
So, we can only use the class during that time. So having the 2 options will really help us expand that.
So you don't have to be completely forthcoming, but I'm just curious because we ask Garrett this question all the time because he's opening all these
Yeah.
amazing co-working spaces. We live in Valentine. We give Valentine a hard time, but we love Valentine. As business owners, and you probably look, especially as you're talking about kids, do you ever, I'm sure you look at Valentine, Blakeney, those areas, and just go, wow, we could kill it down there with families.
Yeah.
But I know that everything down there is new and super expensive. So I'm just curious, like, how do you, as business owners in like cool part of Charlotte, look at that part of Charlotte?
Well,
It's tough. I mean, right now we do have people that are driving an hour to see us, and we're completely
Wow.
grateful for that because
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a long way. But
Yeah.
so we're excited about that because, like, all right, that means we're doing a good enough job that people are willing to make
Yeah.
that drive. And so definitely crossed our mind, like, should we look into something, especially with kids?
Like a satellite operation.
Yeah.
So right.
and
Just
we're
kill
just
them there.
trying to hone in on
Yeah.
what that would look
The
like
summer
because
camps.
what can we duplicate? We can't duplicate our classes
Right.
and what we do for
You can't clone
adults.
You're going to
yourself.
scale
Yeah.
yourself so much.
Yeah.
But we could duplicate kids classes and possibly another part of our business that we're going to gear up for. So those things.
I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounded like...
Yeah.
All right, get out of here, business guy. Get out of here, business guy. What? Here.
We brought you on to break some
I've got some more of this ground. We have broken. I feel like Sycamore talked about their cans.
Right, their cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just saying. I mean, the mic's hot.
We would like to do some food service. So we really want to.
What is that? Now, what does food service mean exactly?
Oh, she gave us enough. Don't.
Oh,
make it
stop. I'm
awkward.
not trying to be like the journalist about it. I just
It's
mean
not a
literally.
restaurant.
No, we're not
Got
going
it.
to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Food that you can
Super uncomfortable
food that
right
you
now.
can order for your house, or food that you might order for
Oh my
your
God,
company.
I
Oh my
love
gosh.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
That's,
she
you got
gave
the
us
breaking news.
Did
Yes,
you
that's
hear her?
huge.
Did you see her
No,
eating her prepared
seriously.
meal before she got here?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, that's I do like meal prep on Sunday. Like I prepare myself,
Oh,
you know what I mean. But basically, just like that, right? So people could buy. Oh my, like Nourish does and things like that, right? Like that type of thing.
Similar.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And that's
a lot.
That's been an idea that we've developed, and we're thinking about it,
Yeah.
how we could do it.
But that would be expanding the operation a lot, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
Is that
It would,
sure.
yeah.
So it's something that we're working on right now. It
We don't
takes
have the capacity now to do it, but we're hoping to do it soon.
Jake is telling me to scoot it. I can't scoot it because my mic. I'm
You could
sitting
not
in the
possibly
shop.
be lounged back there. I'm trying to get you in the
I'm trying
frame
to get
here.
Andrew some FaceTime here, buddy.
Oh, he's got plenty of room. I'm like blocking out the sun here.
No, we're
for-
good. That's
oh, look at that! I just
I know.
did you see
You gave
the shade? She
him a
goes, should I? We can edit it out if we need to. We can edit it all out.
You're good.
You're
Hey,
good.
listen.
Yeah,
You
we're
just
all
get a
about
little snippet.
we're all about breaking news here. All right, so that's possibly
awesome.
next. Like, so just look now. Let's go super specific to the spreads. Like, is this it, or maybe more?
Is it just spreads
More
at this point,
fruit.
or what other? Yeah.
It's just spreads right now. We like the idea of what those do for food and just like
Just
that
so
you
versatile.
Can, yeah,
Yeah.
so versatile. So anything we add to it, we want it to be just as versatile.
Mm-hmm.
So we are thinking about a couple different flavors of spreads. So
Are these the
combinations.
two main only?
Those are the
right
only
now?
ones
Okay.
we have. Yeah.
Are you in stores?
Yes, so and they are tough to get produced because we've had a couple spreads that are very good. They just do not work well if you want to make it shelf stable.
Okay.
And so basically how this works is you make your product, send it to a lab that gets tested. There's one in NC State.
Oh.
And you send it to them and they tell you what it would take to produce it and basically what the pH level is. And so some like we had one, it was a tomato.
It was like a sun-dried tomato
Sun-dried-
pesto, and it's incredible.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
great, but
Doesn't
But once
last
you
as
start
long as
to
you
try
do it.
it
Gel
and
and
put it in
fresh.
a jar,
it only to get it shelf stable, you have to cook it down for 5 minutes and it crushed all the flavor.
Huh.
And so
And
it was
these
very
are-
fresh, not in a jar.
these are preservative free, and they're made with whole ingredients.
This is
so
a problem right here.
Yeah, that champagne tomato one is.
Local tomatoes, and so like
Oh,
we're not going
wow.
to make anything that isn't going to be natural, preservative free. And so if it and that's why they're gourmet because it costs a little bit
Yeah.
more. It's not going to be Heinz ketchup.
Yep. Yep. I get it.
yeah.
Got it. You keep looking at this catchphrase over here.
I am, but wait, real quick before we do that, because you mentioned you said you're making your family, business family friendly, and the kids stuff and whatever. Do you guys want kids eventually? Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a timeline or like how many kids you want? Do you have any idea?
Yeah.
I know that's a personal question, but listen, we're on a date night. You can
Yeah.
tell or not tell. You've already shared some stuff, but just in general.
Seven too much?
Oh God. As my beard just goes.
Do you want a bunch?
I don't want a bunch.
Yeah.
I want.
I don't want a bunch.
I want like a little
Are you
bunch.
guys,
Child,
is
am I
3 a
not?
bunch? I don't want
Are you
any
guys?
more.
Do you guys have siblings?
I
She
have
has
two
I have
brothers.
one.
Okay.
I have two
I have a
brothers.
younger sister.
Okay.
And yeah, we're all like very close to our families, and I mean, I couldn't see more than 3, but I'm kind of like 2 is gonna be a good number.
Are you on the same page there, Andrew?
I think we're in the 2 to 3, maybe 2 and a half. you
Right.
know.
We highly recommend.
We feel like backloaded this podcast to
You
all the
guys
personal information.
We have 3.
3.
2 boys and a girl. Just you did
Did you-
2 brothers.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you plan on having 3?
We always kind of said 2 to 4. Like I said that. I think
2
he was
was-
always thinking like 2 max, and I
If
was
we
always
could have a redo, we'd probably wait a little bit more on number 2.
yeah,
1 and 2, the difference between is 15 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then June, we waited like normal human beings, like a couple of years.
yeah.
But then, yeah, when we found out it was a girl, I literally ran to the urologist. Like, shut it down.
We didn't know that she. We had.
That's
He's the
about
oldest. Yeah, yeah. Jake's the oldest of 4 boys. His dad is one of 3 boys. We had 2 boys. We were like, okay, we're just gonna always have
I was
boys.
convinced we were going to have 4 boys.
I know.
Which,
We probably, honestly, well, I don't know if we would. But anyway, to answer your question in a long way, we knew we wanted about, same thing. We were like, oh, we'll see. And then we had 2, and it was like, insane. But I just kind of, when I had this talk with somebody who was it the other day, we were saying, like, who are we with this weekend?
John.
Yeah, so-and-so.
Smith. John Smith?
But I just kind of felt like
That's generic
there's another failing out there, and then we had, and like
That's
now
how she said it,
we're
which of
done.
course made it seem like we've abandoned someone and
Yeah.
no, but I mean that's I mean when a business is going like this and you got a lot going on, that's a hard conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, okay, well, we
Yeah, no, I know.
really have to plan this and.
Can I tell you one piece of advice, Olivia, the
Please.
boss who came into the bar before
Yeah,
us
the lady.
told me
Yeah.
it was the best. It wasn't necessarily advice so much as it was a piece of insight that was just great to hear. When we were getting engaged, I was like, well, this time wouldn't be good because for the wedding, this time wouldn't be good. She goes, can I just tell you, it's never a convenient time
Yeah.
to get married or have kids.
Yeah.
There's always enough stuff going on in your life that you never feel like, now my schedule is clear to plan a wedding or to,
There's
what I mean?
always
So it's like,
something.
at some point you just do it and you just make it work. Like,
Yeah,
so,
and something strikes you. And
yeah. Or like you're just irresponsible one night and you deal with the repercussions. Exactly.
This
that's
podcast
the best
has
advice ever,
generated
though, 'cause you have
8
to remind
babies in
yourself of
trouble.
that.
And
Yeah.
and then people make it work all the time,
Yeah.
and it will be insane, but like you'll make it work. Like
Yeah.
it's so
Cool.
yes.
Parenting advice from Paige Phelan.
The
Crawford.
least credible
Pam
parent
Crawford.
resources.
Yeah, we are awful parents. And but take our advice. Do you guys know what this is?
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase. All right, so we
yeah.
end our episode. I feel like you always start. That was weird. I just picked it up
No, you
first.
can start. I feel like
Alright.
you need the added advantage.
And I
because
always
we're
say
also
this
gonna crush
on every single. As she just smashes half her beer. I
Yeah,
like your
girl.
attitude. I like your attitude.
I just want to finish so we can eat more of this champagne tomato jam. To be honest.
I'm trying to ramp through it too because it is delicious. This crack is from Paige losing and spiking it.
Ooh.
years ago.
If by years
Far
you
less
mean
mature.
7 weeks ago. All right. So have you played?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you know the rules. All right. Do not say the word that's on there. All right. Ready?
And pass
Are we
it.
on it?
Say-
So wait. You're playing boys v girls.
Boys
So
v
you and I
girls.
are a team.
Okay.
We're just
Okay.
asking around.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're playing to
Lock
3.
in.
Okay.
All right.
What's the category?
Andrew, say stop.
Stop.
Everything.
Oh, great.
All right. Here we go. So start at the top, but then when you get it, I'll press. When I get it, I'll press next. Pass it to you. Then you press next.
The
Ready?
big blue on the bottom, not the top one.
Okay.
Well, everyone presses it. wrong.
Spike the thing next time.
Okay.
Oh, you collect these as a kid.
Baseball cards.
It's not down.
Up,
You ascend these.
upstairs.
Oh! All right, press stop. All right. So there's your one screw up.
Oh.
It's the blue button at the bottom. It's okay. It's okay. So just press stop and then only the blue
I know.
button.
And then only the blue button from now on.
You are riding in a vehicle and you're not feeling well.
Car sick.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Oh, this is probably something you use for. It's not olive or canola. It is something. But you plant these in the ground and they'll grow. The first part of it, like that's the second part of the first word. What are the things you plant?
Seed.
That's
Grape
the second. It's like a. Rhymes with. That's
Sesame
something you
seed?
write with. No, it's like one little word and it's something that seed. It's a. You write with this, not a pencil, but but it rhymes with that. Rhymes-
Peanut. No. Oh my gosh.
Counting down.
I'm just gonna say
No!
So, okay, we just said
No.
You say I don't want to lose. This is I can't blank. I can't say that I lost, but it's another way to say that. I can't.
I can't.
I've switched on.
Oh god.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
I sucked at that.
I
That's
Bring
saw
it.
the other end of this.
No,
I don't know if I've
sucked. I
ever
sucked.
seen you that bad.
That bad. I know. I was bad.
Wow.
It's
What was
linseed
it?
oil,
I'm trying
though.
to talk trash.
Linseed oil.
I was like, what's
Linseed?
Pensy?
Linseed oil.
Oh, I was never.
What is
gonna
linseed?
guess
Do I
that.
start or do you
Thank
start?
you. No, that makes me feel better because what the hell is linseed oil?
All right, it's best out of 3.
I've never heard of that.
Oh,
Oh.
that makes me feel better.
what a
No,
shame.
good.
Fake oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to
What
hear
the
you
hell is
struggle
linseed
with
oil?
that.
And then shut up. The second one was admit defeat.
Ooh, tough
Ironically
one.
enough.
Oh,
I know.
interesting. Ready?
Wow.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, not yes, but.
No.
And when someone does something nice for you, you say,
Thank you.
but the short version of it.
Thanks. No
Yeah.
thanks.
We got this.
Baseball team in New
Orioles.
York.
Jets. I mean,
Yep, Jets.
Mets.
Okay. Second part of that is their
Yankee.
yo house.
Yankee
House. What's
Casa.
another word for house?
Yankee home?
Yes.
Yankee homes. Yankee home team.
Middle word.
Yankee, Yankees at home.
Over there.
Yankee, their home.
Gadget. What's something gadget?
What? Oh.
Yankee. I have no idea.
Go Yankee.
Yankee go
Yankee
home.
go home.
Yankee go.
Oh, what are those meaning? Those are horrible.
Andrew, did you even go?
No.
Yeah. All right.
I used up the entire time.
No, those were, we got horrible ones.
Oh.
We did get horrible ones.
I'm glad you're saying that. I feel like we're
Shall we do best out of 5 so Andrew can actually try it?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Let's start.
Yes.
Let's do it.
If something is easy to see and easy to recognize,
Familiar.
it's a
Clear.
Yes, that's the second word.
Yep.
First
Crystal
word.
clear.
Yep.
Let's go, girl.
Brilliant!
Oh, this is easy. Okay.
Oh,
there's
last
a
word.
bunny and he puts things in a basket.
Easter.
What's the thing called when the kids look for things?
Easter basket. Easter hunt. Easter egg hunt.
It's an Easter hunt. Hand that slower next time. All right. This makes like the rabbit with the drum. What goes in the back of them?
A rabbit with a drum.
You know, the like Energizer.
But
what's the
Energizer
guy?
Bunny. It's a
What?
battery.
Yes. All right. And so when
Battery
they come
pack.
with it, when those come with things, they say.
Battery included. Oh, also.
This is something you pop
Gum.
on your face.
Zits. Pimples.
Yes.
Oh, what was it?
I touched it.
What was it?
Yes. No, that's
Who
what
was
it
it?
Zit.
was
Nice
it.
try.
If we're really doing best out of 5, I guess we gotta go.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, now we're on a roll.
I know,
I
We
know.
got this.
Oh,
Right.
one is a roll. All right, here we go.
2-1, 2-2.
Come on.
Boys are, when they're with girls, they're like, ooh,
Nervous.
you have a.
Cooties.
Yep.
Oh no!
This was a South African leader, was in jail for like a million years.
Wow.
Is now, he just died like a year or two ago. Morgan Freeman played the character. Okay, I'll give you stuff
Yes,
that rhymes with
I'm not going to remember.
It's the band in the 80s had long blonde hair. It's the same word. It's two brothers. Rhymes with Schmelson.
Nelson
Oh.
Mandela.
Yes. Sorry, that was kind of cheating.
These are nasty. Scrambled,
Eggs.
but when they're nasty. Not
Dirty
scrambled.
eggs?
No, but like when they've been sitting out, you're like, Craig. Oh, that smells like a.
Dank egg.
No,
Skank. Skunk.
rotten
eggs?
Smells like
Yes.
a gang. Oh.
Smells like a skank egg.
This is when you say somebody is versus. It's like
Against. Playing.
Yeah, but it's like somebody would say this as an analogy, like it.
Close.
Gosh,
Gosh,
that's how.
DJ
That's
Wilen.
how. That's how.
DJ Wilen.
Oh, I think I just got it. There's a little guy fighting a
No,
big
the
guy.
game is over.
Listen to
Okay,
this.
you already
No,
beat us.
David
You
Goliath.
don't
Yep.
need to. You don't need to.
DJ Wilen.
I think
No
I'm
wonder I'm
impressed.
so good when we're on the same team.
Oh.
No, we had horrible clues. We had horrible,
Oh my gosh.
What was Yankee Go Home?
Oh, I'm sweating now.
I know.
Oh,
It's hot.
Sweat.
wait till you
Yeah.
take these off. Your
Your
sweat
ears
is
are
real.
having
Your sweat is real.
I thought it was just a game.
Oh my gosh, so fun. Guys, thanks for joining us.
I know, this is
Yeah.
great,
Thank
guys.
you for
This is
having
really
us.
fun. Thanks for
This is
coming on.
legitimately like a date. Like we try to treat this thing like a date, and I
Yeah.
feel like we could do like another couple hours here.
Well, we're really
Yeah,
looking forward to
thank you.
brunch at your house soon.
Brunch at our house. We're
We'll
gonna
have
make
the
more of a
opportunity.
date.
Yes.
No,
More
so
snacks.
more
Yeah.
spreads, more fun stuff coming up. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, I'll take my first class.
Yes.
Also
I'm
that.
excited about it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming in,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Facebook.
See you, Facebook.
Oh,
Oh my
man.
God, yeah.
Your sweat.
Ooh, oh,